Hello, my dear students! It's your teacher Irene, and I am here today because today we're going to tackle a new topic, and I am here to serve some knowledge. We all have ideas, but how do we prove them? So let's start. Let's get into the tasty world of arguments and evidence. Let's move on and let's proceed in the diving of arguments and SDGs. So I prepared some facts and logic for you to enjoy. Let's go. So among the 17 SDGs, I only choose 3 examples. Okay, my dear students, so no time to waste. Let's start first our SDG number 4. It's stated here that if there is an access to quality education, then literacy rates increase, employment opportunities improve, and literacy rates increase. If there is an access to quality education, therefore literacy rates increase. So we know that SDG number 4 has a point to make. And now let's proceed to their hypothesis. And hypothesis number 1 stated that if there is access to quality education, then literacy rates increase. And the hypothesis number 2 stated that if their employment opportunities improve and there is access to quality education, then literacy rates increase. So first, let P be the access to quality education, and let Q be the literacy rates increase, and let R be the employment opportunities will improve. So, my dear student, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the given. So, in this case, we're going to find the Q. So, we're going to use the law of inference. Given is P implies Q. And the second given is R and P, then Q. And the third given is P. Alright, my brilliant student, wake up. We have a mission. We're going to prove the Q. We've got everything we need. We have the given, hypothesis, and everything. So I think now let's use the law of inference, because it's like an ultimate detective tool. It's how we take what we already know to be true and use it to discover something new. So the fourth thing that we're going to do is we're going to use modus ponens to find the Q and to prove that it is a tautology. Okay, my dear students, so we got the correct answer. Thank you for your cooperation. Let's move on and let's proceed to our another SDG example. So we have here SDG number 6. It stated that if a community gets clean water access, individual health picks up, and the kids don't die as much. When health gets better and child deaths go down, it points right back to having that clean water. The point is, people's health has improved these days. Child mortality decreases too. Therefore, communities must have the clean water now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to identify the hypothesis. So we have here hypothesis number 1 and number 2. So let's have first the number 1. It's stated that if a community has access to clean water, then health condition will improve and child mortality decreases. And the number 2 is if health condition improve and child mortality decreases, then communities have access to clean water. To solve this argument is we're going to use this. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to let P be the communities has access to clean water, and let Q be the health condition improves, and let R be the child mortality decreases. So we need a proof to solve this argument. So we have here our given. We are going to prove the P, or we're going to find the P. So the given number 1 is we have here P implies Q and R, and the second given is Q and R implies P. And the third given is the Q. So the fourth given is E. So the next step that we did here is we conjunct the number 4 and the number 3. So the result is Q and R. So our mission is to prove the P. So the next step that we're going to do is we look for law of inference. So we're going to use the modus ponens. So we choose number 2 and number 5. So the result is B. Therefore, we already have solution to our problem. We already have a proof. So now, let's move on and let's proceed to our next SDG example. So we choose SDG number 16. It's stated here that if the government's accountability goes up and individuals start trusting institutions more, corruption tends to decrease. On the other hand, if corruption increases, then people's trust in institutions weaken. And when the trust weakens, accountability in the government just keep decreasing. The point is that corruption has actually been on a rise lately. Therefore, government accountability is decreasing. We studied earlier that if we're going to prove the arguments, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the hypothesis. So hypothesis number 1. If the government's accountability increases and people trust in institutions strengthened, then corruption decreases. And hypothesis number 2. If corruption increases, then people's trust weaken. In hypothesis number 3, if people's trust weakens, then the government's accountability decreases. And hypothesis number 4, corruption is increasing. So, we have here our hypothesis. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to find the given to finally prove the arguments. So we have here, we'll let P be the government's accountability increases, and we'll let Q be the corruption decreases, and we'll let R be the people trust institution strengthens. So we have here the hypothesis. The next step that we're going to do is we are going to find the given. Therefore, we can finally solve and show the proof of our arguments. My dear student, our mission here is we're going to find the negation of Q. So the given here is we have number 1. P and R implies Q. The given number 2 is the negation of Q implies the negation of R. The given number 3 is the negation of R implies the negation of P. So the number 4 given is the negation of Q. So we're going to use the law of inference. So to solve this problem is the first step is we're going to use modus ponens. Modus ponens of number 2 and number 4. So the result is the negation of R. So the next is modus ponens again. We use number 3 and number 5. So the result is the negation of Q. So we finally solve and have proof on our arguments. My dear students, so that would be all for our lesson. I hope you learned something. So thank you very much for watching. Again, it's your teacher, Irene. Thank you.